A little Thaddeus Savannah and his older brother are being brought home by their father in the winter of 1974 in upstate New York. He is playing with his toy, and his father scolds him, saying that he is not allowed to take toys to his grandparents' place. Savannah insists as it is Christmas, but his brother snatches it from him. He complains to his dad, but he does not pay much attention, saying that a real man should fight for himself instead of whining. His older brother teases him, saying that Savannah will never be a man. He gives him back his game, but when he begins to play with it, he finds out that it is broken. He lifts his head up to confront his brother, but he sees that both his father and brother have disappeared. Suddenly, the radio starts catching mixed signals, and the car rushes with its windows all frosty. Savannah gets out of the car and finds himself in a strange place. Savannah is taken to the Rock of Eternity while using his magic 8-ball, where he meets a wizard. The wizard takes his name, which shocks him even more. The wizard talks to him, and Savannah learns about the mystical statues that house the spirits of the 7 deadly sins: pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. The wizard, who was the last of a council of 7, spent centuries looking for a new champion. Savannah is put to the test to discover if he has a pure heart, as he is thinking of a way to prove himself. The 7 statutes of the 7 deadly sins come to life and lure Savannah into reaching for the eye of envy. Savannah falls into their trap and fails to prove that his heart is pure. When he tries to touch the eye of envy, the wizard gets angry and says that only the purest of hearts can become his champion and that Savannah is unworthy. As he returns to the vehicle, he thinks to himself about the occurrences. He tries to open the car door to go back to the Rock of Eternity, but his brother stops him. This results in a tragic fight in which he produces a scene in which his sibling punches him, and his father loses control of the steering wheel. His father suffers injuries in an ice crash. Savannah's brother accuses him of the accident, and there he finds a magical 8-ball that says, "Find us." Meanwhile, the 7 deadly sins come back to life again and tell the wizard that he will not be able to contain them anymore as he is weak now. The wizard raises his voice and asks the universe to grant him a pure-hearted champion no matter how long it takes. Billy is at a circus with his mother a few years before the present day while she tries in vain to hit a tiger with a dart. After that, Billy loses a pendant ball he was wearing and goes in search of it, leaving his mother behind. He is found lost by the police, who take him to a foster family. Billy Batson lures and traps police officers into a pawn shop in modern-day Philadelphia with the intention of using their computers to look up the home of his long-lost mother. The policeman informs the station from his satellite phone about the situation, and Billy quickly runs away. He reaches the address he found for Rachel Batson and contemplates at the gate of her house. He nervously walks towards the door and rings the doorbell. A lady asks from inside, "Who is at the door?" Billy responds, "I am looking for Rachel Batson. She might be my mother." The lady opens the door, and Billy falls into despair as he realizes that she is not his mother. Shortly after, the policeman arrives and takes Billy to the social service center. There, the lady talks to Billy about how he has run away from more than 20 houses and good families that were willing to keep him. Billy clearly expresses that he does not want to live with a fake family while his real mother is still out there. However, during his travels, he feels disappointed. The social services worker persuades him by telling him that he can live on his own once he turns 18 years old. She explains that she cannot let him stay on the streets just because he is searching for someone who never searched for him in the first place. She takes him to the Vasquez family, where he is placed with other siblings. A woman talks to a doctor in the Savannah Industries office building about her experience and shows her a video to gain entry to the wizard's lair. Savannah takes the film to his office, where he works on a database that records people who report similar occurrences worldwide. Savannah transforms the physician into dust. When questioned about it, he approaches the wizard using symbols, enters the lair, and taps the energy ball by envy, which releases the 7 deadly sins. They take the form of an eye, sit down, and attach to his right eye. Billy is taken home by his foster parents, where he meets Eugene playing video games on his laptop from the kitchen. Darla comes running all excited to meet Billy and hugs him tightly. Billy then meets Mary, who is interviewing for college. Rosa takes Billy to his room where he meets Freddie. Freddie tries to scare Billy and play around with him, showing interest in superheroes and their abilities. Billy goes to the washroom and takes out his diary, cancels the last address, and throws it in the bin. Next, he goes downstairs to have dinner with the family and sees their bonding. As Billy adjusts, the foster kids take him on a tour of the campus. After pestering Billy for a while to get to know him better, Freddy sits down with him for lunch. Bullies outside push him and strike Freddy, causing Billy to flee into the subway to escape them. After confronting them and hitting them with Freddy's walking stick, he enters the Rock of Eternity while symbols appear to him on the train. Billy feels afraid and unrealistic as he walks unknowingly and reaches the wizard. The wizard takes his name and tells him that Billy is now standing at the source of all magic. Billy does not take him seriously and tells him that he does not have a pure heart. The wizard reveals that after giving his to someone else in the past, he went wicked, murdered many people, and let out the 7 deadly sins. The wizard spent millennia looking for someone because of his pledge to find someone with a pure heart. He asks Billy to lay his hands on the wizard's staff so that Billy can inherit all his powers. Billy still does not take him seriously, but when the magician forces him, Billy takes his name, Shazam. Billy is the one he picks and he has to say Shazam. When Billy shouts the magic word, he turns into Shazam the champion, and the wizard disintegrates. Then Billy gets on the train again where people eye him and call him all sorts of names. At home, Billy's parents are concerned for him and contact social services to inform them that he has run away again. Shazam visits the foster family after his return to Philadelphia and meets with Freddy. Freddy is doing the dishes when Shazam bangs on the window with a banner saying, "Don't scream." Shazam says that he is not a pervert but Billy. Billy asks him to meet outside. After lights out, Freddy goes out to meet him. Freddy says that he does not believe Shazam, but then Billy shows him the bullet that he stole. Then they go on to test the strength, super speed, lightning, and all the other talents. They hear the screams of a woman, and an armed robbery is stopped. When they enter a business, the lady gives them $73, and they go to buy beer at the store. A robbery is stopped again by Billy and Freddy. They also find out that Shazam is bulletproof. When they get back home, Billy hears the foster parents talking about how the others also ran away in the beginning. Victor says to Rosa that it's not home until you call it home. Freddy sneaks Shazam upstairs into his room. Freddy mentions that Billy is back, and Rosa comes to check on her, so they run to hide in Darla's room. Darla wakes up seeing and gets confused seeing Shazam. He goes on to explain to her that a wizard made him say his name, and as soon as he says Shazam, he goes back to his old self. Billy Dr. Savannah interrupts a business meeting at Savannah Industries that is being hosted by his brother and father. He goes into the conference room where he shoves back their words at them. He says to them that he continuously told them about the Rock of Eternity, but they called him an idiot and made fun of him, saying that he is not a real man. His father, who lost both of his legs in the accident that occurred that night in 1974, tells him to go away as he does not have time for his stupidity. Savannah kills everyone in the room, including his father, after he and his brother fight. Videos of Shazam's different abilities, posted by Freddy, go viral. Billy pretends to be Shazam to check out Freddy and Billy when they are in class, so they skip class. After departing, they travel to test their strength, flying and fire resistance. They stroll through a mall using their lightning powers to charge people's phones, obtain free sodas, try to buy a house from a real estate agent, and then head to a strip club. He announces that they require extra funding. They go to an ATM, zap it, take some of the money, and then use it to make purchases. The bullies harass Freddy and Billy again the following day at school until Freddy claims to know the new superhero Red Cyclone. They don't believe him, but he makes a vow to make sure the hero shows up for lunch the following day. Billy and Freddy have a brief disagreement about Billy assuming he has supernatural abilities and wanting to use him for those. The father asks the family what they think of the new hero at dinner. After hearing everyone's opinions, Freddy pokes fun at Shazam before he and Billy get into a brief argument that leaves the rest of the family perplexed. The following day at school, Billy decides not to go because he wants to find his mother, even though Freddy has requested lunch. Shazam performs a variety of tasks like capturing pictures and flashing lightning for cash. When he talks to Mary after saving her from being hit by a car, he learns that she is sad about having to leave her family for college. Shazam leaves after mistakenly disclosing his knowledge of her name and housing condition. When Freddy locates Shazam and tries to speak with him, Shazam tries to defuse the situation by firing lightning across the city that hits a bus tire and causes it to crash off the side of a bridge. Shazam successfully catches it and places it on the concrete before hearing that he is not properly using his abilities. Dr. Sivana appears when she hears the disturbance and seeks out Shazam's abilities. Shazam brushes him off, gets thrown around, and lands in a mall while learning how to fly. Sivana pursues him, but Shazam reverts to Billy and flees. Sivana hears Freddy calling for Billy. Sivana kidnaps Freddy while he is there and asks to be taken to Billy. Billy's siblings find out that he is Shazam, and Darla gets excited that she did not break her promise. They found out on their own. When Billy arrives, they already know where his mother is, since Eugene has told them that she is only 2 metro stations away. In the face of the sad realization that his obstinate, years-long search for his mother was fruitless, Billy offers his mother the keychain compass she gave him years earlier, saying, "You could need it more than me." With a mix of remorse, contempt, and sympathy for her, he wishes her good luck, since he was not planning on seeing her again. After departing, he gets a call from Savannah, telling him to return home. Billy leaps off the apartment building, changes into Shazam, and flies to his house. Savannah opens a magical passage to the Rock of Eternity. After Shazam decides to give up his magic in order to save his family, Savannah releases the 7 deadly sins while holding the wizard staff. Savannah is distracted by the siblings as they enter the cave, allowing them to flee and enter a winter carnival. Fights between Savannah and Shazam occur all around the fair. By grabbing the wizard's staff and yelling his name, Shazam and his family are able to transfer the wizard's power to them, turning them all into adult superheroes. Shazam engages Savannah while flying through skyscrapers and battling one sin. Freddy flies in and saves the final 2 passengers, the bullies. As it begins to topple, Shazam and Savannah wind themselves up on a rooftop where Shazam provokes the one remaining deadly sin, envy, injuring it, and it tears itself out of Savannah's eye. Savannah, who is now mortal, is thrown over the roof. Shazam grabs Savannah, brings him to the carnival, and rips off his magical eye. The Shazam family saves the day, basks in the praises of the audience, draws attention to the lair, and returns the sins for keeping. This is where Shazam and Freddy decide to hide out. Everyone has changed back to their original forms and is watching a newscast about the carnival incident at the foster home. Billy now feels content and safe, accepting a family. As everyone in the foster family chats and laughs, Freddy sits down for lunch at school, but everyone at the table leaves him alone, so he can only be joined by his siblings who come and sit next to him. He is soon encountered by the existing bullies. They begin to come closer and ask him if he is still in contact with Shazam. This makes Freddy nervous, but it does not stay like that for long. When Shazam arrives, he informs all the present students that Freddy taught him what it takes to be a hero and that he brought along another buddy in the form of Superman, the alien caterpillar. Mr. Mind interrupts Savannah in the middle of the credits as he is drawing symbols all over the wall in an attempt to reopen the portal. Mr. Mind informs Savannah of the coming alliance of the Pillars of Evil.